Yes, so welcome to today's session on data analytics, data analysis with a focus on Excel. My name is Sina. I am part of the UNV capacity development team, which is based in Bonn in Germany. And our role is to support your personal but also professional development as UN volunteers. So yes, we're very happy to have you with us today. Some practical information for you. So as you're just already been doing, use the chat throughout the session to ask questions or share your thoughts or add also comments, and we'll be keeping an eye on it. You can also use the Q&A function if you want to pose a question. And other than that, there are reaction buttons. So also feel free to send a thumbs up or a heart anytime. It's always nice to see some reactions there. As I was saying, the session is being recorded and we'll share the recording, but also the materials afterwards, so you can exercise at your own pace. And yes, there's also the closed captions and translation available via the menu bar, which you can see in Zoom on the very bottom. So feel free to use that one if it helps you to participate a little more comfortably. All right, some context. So this webinar is part of further upcoming webinars on data analysis, so stay tuned. Today we'll be focusing on a second session on Microsoft Excel, so for Microsoft Excel for data analysis, which is building up on the previous session in January. And before we start, I would like to get a little sense of the room. So I would like to launch a little poll there. So I would like to know, have you already participated in the previous data analytics session in January? So some of you might have participated. Oh, wow, great. Rapidly answering. Some did not, which is not a problem. There's always the recording available for you. So in case you want to rewatch it, you will find this on eCompass under the webinar recordings. But yes, it seems there had been some participating, some not, which is totally fine. So thanks for giving us this little sense here in the room. Yes, so yeah, we're very happy to have Jakob with us today. Again, he is a former online volunteer and Excel expert, and he'll guide us through some key Excel functions, and we'll also share some practical tips. So whether you're beginner or rather already advanced, there is, I'm sure, something here for you. And yes, with that, I am happy to hand over to you, Jakob, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for some of you. So let me start with the sharing of the presentation. So I will start, I hope you can see the screen, okay. So I will start with some introduction. For those of you who didn't attend the first webinar, so my name is Jacob, and I worked with UNV on some data analysis as a volunteer. From my professional life, I've been working, I was working for IBM for almost 12 years, and my last position was commission end-to-end subject matter expert. So I worked all of 12 years at commission department, where we calculated targets for IBM sellers, and we calculated their achievements and how much of commission they should earn. I was working on daily basis in Excel on some data analysis and also on the reporting. So I will start with some recommendations based on my experience. So first of all, and I'm always highlighting this, is that there is a lot of functions in Excel and also features, and you don't need to be familiar with all these functions, because from my experience, you will use in your daily activities maybe 10 or 15 of functions, and even I don't know all the functions and I don't know how to use them and so on. So it's important just to know that some of the function exists. So as an example, if we will use today function if error, and in the future you will be working on some data analysis and you will try to search for some solution for your problem, then you can just find in your head that that's something that we discussed on the data analysis webinar, and then you can use Google or AI and just to try to search for the function or for the solution. So you will know that there is some function like if error, so you can just Google how to use it and so on. And last recommendation, before each data analysis that you are going to perform, it's important just to take a moment and to think about how you would like to work with your data, what data you have, how you would like to build the tables, and what logic you would like to apply. And at the end, you always have to think about the final picture. So you have to think as the stakeholder, and you have to think what is the most simple way how to understand the data. So you have to think about KPIs, key performance indicators, and how to use them, how to visualize them, and how it's easy for stakeholder to understand what you are trying to say. How you can use Excel in your daily activities at UNV. So you can track workshops or meeting attendance. That's similar exercise that we will do today. You can organize contact list and schedules. You can prepare some summaries for reports. That's something we will do as well. You can clean data. So in case you start to work on some analysis and you have unstructured data, you have some missing values, you have some duplicated values, you have different names for countries and so on, then before each data analysis, you have to clean the data. So this is something that we will not do on this exercise, but I plan to do something similar in the next webinars. And then you can use Excel to create tables and charts. So by charts, I mean some visualizations, how you would like to present your data. About our exercise, as I already mentioned, we will analyze the data from two different workshops, and we already started on the first webinar. So our task is to combine the reports from two different workshops. So in our case, from two workshops, we should anonymize the report. So in case there are some sensitive information and you don't want to share full names, you can anonymize these names, what we did already on the first webinar. Then we should summarize the report. And I will show you how to summarize the report manually, and then how to summarize the data using pivot tables. So just to demonstrate you the difference between doing that manually and using pivot tables. So you can just see what's the difference and how much of time you can save. And at the end, we will create some visualization and maybe some dashboard just to see, just to imagine that how the output from data analysis might look like. Okay, so today we will focus on summary, And actually, we will recap and practice some functions from the last webinar, so you can practice by yourself. And this will be different from the first webinar. And today I will show you how to use the function, and then I will give you 1 or 2 minutes just to practice by yourself. So you can give me the feedback via Q&A if it's not working or you would like to explain something more. So yeah, so you can use Q&A. Step-by-step guide, what we are going to do today. So all these eight steps we already did on the first webinar. And today we will again practice XLOOKUP. And I will show you how to handle some error cases. So in case XLOOKUP is not working properly, or it's working properly, but we will get some error messages. So I will show you how to use how to handle these errors. Then we will again practice XLOOKUP. So we will bring the age of participants from our from the table where we have saved information about participant and age of participant. Then we will use the function if to group the age. As an example, if we would like to present how many attendees we had by age and group them. So as an example, how many participants we had in the age between 20 and 30, then we will use this grouping for which we will use if function. Then again, we will practice XLOOKUP, and we will bring the gender information about the participant. And at the end, we will create a pivot table, so some summary. As in this example, and as I mentioned, here we can see summary how many participants we had from each age group. So what we will learn today, we will go through the function. As mentioned, we will recap the XLOOKUP function, and you will practice how to use it. Then I will show you how to handle errors, as I mentioned. So we will use the function ifError and combine this function with XLOOKUP function. And then, as mentioned, we will use if function to create the groups from age. And we will summarize data. So we will, as mentioned, I will show you how to summarize data manually and using pivot tables. I'm not sure if we will have time to go through summary, but we will see. If we will be able to manage, then I will show it to you today. And if not, then on the next webinar, we will go through these summaries. So we will see. About housekeeping, the demo will be presented once. And as I mentioned, I will just to show you how the function works, and then you will get 1 or 2 minutes just to practice and comment in Q&A if you need to explain something. So feel free to submit your question into Q&A during the session. The session is recorded and will be made available for you. So you can, after the session, you will try to practice the functions. So you can you can open the recording and you can check how we did it on the webinar. And the practice file will be shared with you. So you can practice by yourself after the webinar. So now I will move into my Excel file, and now I will, for those of you who didn't attend the first webinar, I will put into the Q&A section the file that you can download and open, and we will continue in this file with the task that we will perform today. So let me share.
I did already share. Thank you, Jakub.
You shared already.
There in the chat.
Okay. So you can, and maybe, do we have some questions so far?
no questions yet, I think we can proceed.
Okay. So you can open the file that Sina shared with you, and so there are already the task that we have here in column O. We have all the tasks that we should perform on these 3 webinars. So we already did the first 8 of them. So just to explain for those who didn't attend the first webinar, and just to explain you how the file looks like. So we have 4 different tabs here. So we have tab for first workshop, where we have the names of all people who registered for the first workshop. Here we have a date. This workshop happened on 5th of December 2024. Here we have all registered person, and here we have information if the person attended the workshop at the end or just registered and didn't attend. So one means that the person at the end attended the workshop, so he or she was on the workshop, and 0 means that a participant registered for the workshop, but at the end didn't attend workshop. So this is from the first workshop. Then in the next step, we have information from the second workshop. So this workshop happened on 5th of February 2025. And again, we have a list of registered persons, and we have the information if they attended or they didn't attend the workshop at the end. As you can see in these formulas from the workshop, we don't have some additional information about age, about country that they are coming from, and so on. So for this purpose, we have our reference table, which, as in this example, can be shared by HR with us. So they have all the information about registered people in the system and so on. So in this case, they could just send us this table with reference information because we need this information for our exercise. So here we have the names. We have the countries that they are coming from. We have age, so how old they are, and we have the gender information. And the last step is our practice file, where we practice all these steps. So in the second row, it's mentioned the function that we are using in the exercise. So just to briefly recap what we did on the first webinar. So we combined the names from first and second workshop. So we simply took the names from the first workshop, we copy the data, and we pasted them here. We did the same with the names from the second workshop, and we paste them at the end. So we had the list of names of registered people from first and second workshop, and however, we had some participants registered for first and second workshop as well. So what we did, we sorted the data alphabetically so we could identify the names that are on our list duplicated. For our exercise, we would like to have in this master table each name only once. So for this, we used the feature to remove duplicates, which is under the data, and it's this little icon which remove duplicates. So once you select the range of data and you click on this little icon, the Excel will automatically remove all duplicated values from the range. Then once we had unique names in our list, we wanted to anonymize the report. So we split the full name into first name and last name. For what we used the function text split. Then to create acronyms, we used left function. So with left function, we took the first letter from the first name, and we did the same for the last name. With the left function, we took the first name of the first letter of the last name. So as a result, we got H and J, and then we connected these first letters using the function concat. And then we wanted to bring the information about the country that the participant is coming from. So we used XLOOKUP to bring the value from the reference table. And then again, we used XLOOKUP to bring the information about attendance. So we used XLOOKUP function to check in the table from first workshop if the person attended or didn't attend the workshop at the end. So that's what we did on the first webinar. So now, just to recap and just to practice, if you already downloaded the file and you have it opened, so you can here into column J4 bring the information about the age. So first I will show you how to do it, and then I will give you 1 or 2 minutes just to practice. So as mentioned on the first webinar, you always click on the cell where you would like to perform the function, and then you have 2 options. You can type the function. If you already are experienced with function, you can directly type the function here into the function field, or you can just click on FX icon and you will get a pop-up window where you can search for the function. And here you have all the different types of functions. So if you click on the category, you can see that there are many different function categories. So you have functions to work with text, you have functions to work with some date informations, you can use some statistical functions and so on. So in our case, we are going to practice XLOOKUP function. So if you try to search for some function, you can also use this search window where I will just type first letters of the function and click OK or Go. And the function will be right here in this below window. So you can just double click on the function, or you can just click on OK. And you will get another pop-up window where you are asked to fill out some attributes. The bold one are mandatory, and the rest is not mandatory. So if we will not insert something in this mandatory field, then the function is not working. And now, just to simplify it and just to demonstrate you how the XLOOKUP function works, so I will demonstrate you manually how the function works. So in our case, we would like to bring information about the age for the first participant. So in our case, it's Adalin. And we would like to know how old the Adalin is. So if I should do it manually and how XLOOKUP function is working. So first of all, I will just define the lookup value. So I'm going to search for Adalin. So that's our first attribute. I can copy the name and I go to my reference table. So the second attribute is where I'm going to search for the name. I'm going to search for the name in the first column with all names. And if I do it manually, then I will go just one by one. And that's exactly what the function is doing. So it's just searching for the name. And once it found the name, then it just take the value from the column C. So that's our third attribute we have to define in the function. If I'm doing that manually, I will just copy age 27, or I will just remember it, and I will insert it here, 27. And this is something that the function is doing for us. So if I'm doing that manually, again, I will just search for the second name. I'm going back to my reference table and I can search again. Here you can use the shortcut Control F, which you can use if you are searching something in the range of data. So I selected the column where I would like to search, and I will click shortcut Control F. I will get a pop-up window, and here you can search for values. So I will just paste the name I'm searching for, and when I will click Find All, the Excel find the value for me. So it's much faster than if you are searching manually. And again, I will just take the values. So age is 25, I go back and I just paste the value. But just to demonstrate you how much time this takes if you do it manually, and just to demonstrate you why to use XLOOKUP function. So I demonstrated you how to do it manually. So now again, I removed what I did, and I'm going to use the function. So I click on the cell where I would like to apply the function. I click on the icon with functions. And if I already used the function or searched for function, they are already listed here. Here you have all most recently used functions. So once you search for the function, the next time you would like to use it, they will be displayed here. So I will just double click on XLOOKUP, and as before, we have to define 3 different attributes as mandatory. As mentioned, when I did it manually, the first value is lookup value, so in our case, name. The second attribute is the range where we would like to search. So in our case, it's reference table, column A. And the third attribute means what value we would like to bring. So in our case, it's from reference table, column C. So I'm going to define the first one. So I click on the first one, and I just select the name. I will move to the second attribute. I'm going to define where I would like to search for this name. I will go to the tab with references, and I will select all column where we would like to search for the name. And the last one, attribute, which values we would like to bring. So again, I go to my reference table and I select the column with age. So once the name will be found, the age will be inserted into my cell where I'm performing the function. And I will click OK. And it's there. Now you don't need to insert the function into each cell manually. You can just click on the cell where you have the function, and you can double click on the right below corner, and the function is copied into all cells where we have the name in the first column. So you can see the difference between how when we did it manually and now when we use the function. So now I will give you 1 or 2 minutes so you can practice in the file, and you can just give me the feedback into Q&A section if you are struggling with something, if something should be explained more detailed, and so on. So let me check the Q&A section.
Yes, exactly. We have 2 questions there. So one question is, well, let's say same participant attends twice when we remove duplicates, and how is both data captured?
So we don't need to have this name duplicated in our list, because the information about attendance we have in column H, we have information from the first workshop, and in column I, we have information from second workshop. So it's combined here in our master file. And that's basically the logic that I'm using when I'm working on some data analysis. If I have many different sources of data, and as an example, if I have 10 reports from 10 different workshops, just to be able to summarize data somehow, I always create one master file where I combine the data from all different reports. So in my case, if I have 10 different reports from 10 different workshops, first I will create one master table with the information from all the different reports. Because in the next steps, when we will try to create pivot table and summarize data, it's much easier to create pivot table and summarize the data from one master file instead of connecting 10 different reports. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And there's another question. What is the difference between VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP?
Yeah. Okay. So with VLOOKUP, you can search for the values only on the right side from the lookup value. With XLOOKUP, you can also search on the left side. I can just demonstrate it to you. So as an example, I will remove the column with countries, and instead of XLOOKUP, I will use VLOOKUP. So I go to functions, VLOOKUP, okay. And again, you have to define attribute that you are searching for. So name, where I'm searching here in my reference table. And here you have to select not only the column where you search, but you have to also select all columns until the column where you searched for the value. So in my case, I like to bring value from the second column. So I select column A and B. And in the third attribute, I have to define the number of columns. So in my case, I have column A and B, and I have to define the column I would like to bring the value from. So it's second column in my case. The first column is name, and the value I'm searching for is in second column. So I just define 2. And in the last one, I just type 0, and you don't need to understand it for now. Why? You can use 0 or 1. It's for exact match or partial match. So if I'm using VLOOKUP in 99%, I use just 0, and you click OK. And it seems the VLOOKUP did the same as XLOOKUP. However, as I mentioned, you can look up only for values which are on the right side from the lookup value. So in case you have name here on the right side from the value that we would like to bring, and I will remove this one, and you like to use VLOOKUP. So again, I click on functions, VLOOKUP. I'm defining the name I would like to search for. Then I'm defining the table where I'm going to search. So I would like to search from here, where I am searching for the name, and I would like to bring the value from the left side, from the lookup value, right? So it's in column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we would like to bring the value from fifth column and 0. It's not working, right? Okay, maybe you can think that if it's on the left side, instead of 5, you can type -5. So you go to left and you click OK. The function is not working. So this is the main difference. So even if you will use XLOOKUP and the value is on the left side, it's working. So again, lookup value. I'm going to search in this column, and I would like to bring the value from the column which is on the left side from lookup value, and I click OK. It's working. So this is the main difference. So from the time when there is XLOOKUP in the function, I stopped to use VLOOKUP. So right. I think that it was like enhancement, and I think that many users just missed the possibility to bring the value from the left side. So they come with this XLOOKUP function. Okay, so
there's one more question there. So if there's no XLOOKUP, then is it a version problem? Because there's one colleague who only found VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, but no XLOOKUP.
It might be probably because of the version of Excel. but I'm not really sure if it's because of the version or if they try to maybe what I would advise is just to not search for function, but type the function directly into this field. So with each function, we start with the equal sign, and then you can type the function. So x lookup left bracket okay, and now you define the attributes manually. So the lookup value, which is also mentioned here. So I select lookup value. Then if you define the next attribute, you just type the comma and you define the second attribute. In our case, it's the range with names, again, comma, and you would like to bring the information from the third column. Okay, and you can try to use this function manually, and if it's not working, then probably yes, it's probably the version of Excel that you are using. So it means that function is not there.
Right. I think that was it with the questions for now.
Okay, so now you can just give some thumbs up if you were able to use this XLOOKUP function and if it was working for you properly. Just to be aware that, okay. That was not so many, but now we can just try to focus on those who were not able to perform this function, just to see if there are some. Okay, so if there are some and you just were not feeling comfortable to show it, so we will practice these XLOOKUP functions once again. So we will use XLOOKUP to bring the information about the gender from our reference table. So I will again show it to you once again. So I click on functions. You can search for the function here, XLOOKUP, and search. Okay, it's there. And you can also try to search via categories. So you can click on categories, and I think it's under lookup and references. So if you click on lookup and references, here you have listed all functions you have for lookups and references. You can search for XLOOKUP manually. So it's at the end, you select XLOOKUP, okay. And again, you have to define 3 main attributes, lookup value, then the range where you would like to search for the value, and what you would like to bring. So again, the first attribute, I'm going to search for the name. I click on the name. I change the attribute where I would like to search. In my reference table, in column A, I switch the attribute and what value I would like to bring, and I go back to my reference table and I select column D and click OK, and double click on the right below corner to copy the formula to all rows. I will now do the same for H because I removed it. So XLOOKUP, okay. Lookup value, again name, change attribute. I'm searching in column A, okay. And I like to bring the information about H. So I select column C, click enter, the information is there, and just double click on the right below corner and function is copied. So again, if you were successful and you brought the information about the gender into our master table, you can just give some thumbs up. And if you have some questions you would like me to do it once again and maybe much slower, you can just let us know in Q&A. Okay. So I think that we can continue, and I will just change the color of the cell that we already linked the age and gender. Okay, so we know that which steps we did. And now errors with XLOOKUPs. So if the function is searching for the name in the range that you define, in our case, we are searching for information about attendance from the first workshop. So we are searching in the tab from the first workshop for the name. And as I explained, the function takes the name, copy name, go to first table, and it starts to search for the name. Once the name is found, it brings the value. However, what will happen in the case that the name is not on the list? In that case, we just get an error saying the value is not available. So just to demonstrate, we search for Alora in the tab from the first workshop. And if I will do it faster with shortcut, so I selected the column, I use shortcut Control F, and I search for Alora. I will get a message that we couldn't find what you were looking for. So it means Alora didn't register it for the first workshop at all. So that's why we got the error message not available. And why this is an issue for us? When we will summarize the data in the next steps, and we will have there some errors, the Excel will not be able to perform the calculations. So if you will select some cells with numbers, here down you can see that Excel performed some basic calculations. So the average of values is 0.7, count of values is 10, and sum of these values is 7, right? So when the Excel sum up the cells, the sum is 7. However, if you will select the range with these error messages not available, you will get just the count. So in case you will try to summarize the data in the next steps, instead of sum, you will get an error message again. So we have to somehow handle these error cases. And for this, I usually use the function if_error. So it means if some error happened, then replace error message with text or number or whatever. So we will combine two functions. We will combine function if_error with function XLOOKUP. So what I will do, I just click on the cell where I have my XLOOKUP function, and before XLOOKUP function, I click here and I type if error left bracket. Okay, and after the function, I just type comma, and now I will define the value I would like to have instead of the error. So if I would like to insert the text, then I have to put the text into quotation marks. So let me. Okay. Okay, I have to find the quotation marks. I'm sorry. Here. Okay, if you would like to insert the text, you have to use quotation marks, and into quotation mark you just type whatever you like. So I can write here like capped value not found, and if I click enter, this is just asking me if the Excel should close the function with right bracket. So I just click yes. The function was updated, and I will copy the function to all the other cells. And you see that instead of error, I got text lookup value not found. However, as I mentioned, we will summarize the data, and we will not be able to summarize the cells where we have some text. Actually, it's working now. Maybe it was not working in previous versions. So we are probably fine with the text as well. But just to be sure, if you are using different version of Excel and so on, and it's not working with text, then instead of text, I will just put here 0, which means that if lookup value is not found, it will be replaced by 0. And why 0? If the person didn't register for the workshop, then logically the person couldn't attend the workshop, right? So 0 means the person was not even registered. I will click OK, and I will again copy the formula to all cells, and I will do the same with the second column. And now again, 1-2 minutes for you to practice. So you can try to update XLOOKUP formula and combine it with if error function, and just to see if it's working for you. So, and also if you have some additional questions about this if error, then I can explain it to you in more details.
Yes. So actually, there was one question. So it says 0 without quotation marks.
Yes. So yeah. So if we would like to apply text, then we have to use quotation mark. If we would like to use numbers, it's without quotation mark. Quotation marks just define that it's text.
Right. Thank you. Then there was one remark from Jan, very good one, because it's in regard to the question about the Excel version, and he says that in the French version, for example, it's not called XLOOKUP, but RechercheX. So there might be a language issue.
Yeah, thank you.
And then one more question from Renee, how to identify empty cells in Excel.
Yeah, so that's something that we can we will do in next workshops, but just in case that you'll need it right now and you are working on something, I will just show it to you very shortly. So you just select the range of data where you are searching for empty cells, and you can use shortcut Control G. You will get a pop-up window. You click on Special, and here you can select what you are searching for. If you are searching for cells with some functions, empty cells, only visible cells, in example, when you are filtering, and you would like to select only visible cells, you can select visible cells, but in your case, you just select the blanks and click OK, and it highlights all the blank cells for you, and you can just change the color for them. So in case you would like to filter for all of them, you can filter by color, and you will get all of them. Okay, so short break, and now we can continue. And as mentioned, we will not have a time to work on summaries on this webinar, but with summaries we will continue on the next webinar. But I think that we still can work on the creation of groups for ages. So we will use function if, and we will create the groups in column K. So again, I will show you how to do it manually. So if you would like to do it manually, you just filter for the age, and you can write here let's say 10 or 20, and you can copy the text to all other cells, and then you just filter for other ages, and again you add the text and copy for all cells. Again, if you have let's say hundreds case of rows, this is not very efficient. So instead of doing that manually, you can use if function to group data. And what if function does, actually, it says, I will search for function if, once again. Okay, and here you define mandatory is just one attribute, but we will define all three of them. So it's logical test, and actually we are just defining the conditions. So if some condition is met, what we would like to get, and if the condition is not met, what else we would like to get. So in our case, we will apply the condition. So if, and I will click on the cell J4, if J4, if this age is less, okay, my keyboard is somehow not cooperating. Okay, I will do it differently. Insert. Okay, again, I will open the function if. I will click OK, and if the age in column J4 is less than 20, okay, it's not working probably with symbol. So as far as we have just 4 minutes left, I would suggest that we will continue on the next webinar with this grouping. Maybe I didn't show you how to summarize the data and so on, but just to ensure that that you are familiar with all functions that we did on the first webinar, and I think that it's better just to ensure that you are familiar with function instead of doing something more advanced, and you will miss the first part. So we can continue on the next webinar. with this grouping and then with summarization of the data.
Wonderful. Yes, we'll do so. For the last 3 minutes left, are there any open questions? Feel free to use the chat or the Q&A function. Yes, so there is one. How to insert color conditions in if functions.
This is something that I have in my mind to include in next webinars. It's under data and on home and conditional formatting, and here you can format the cells based on the value if you would like to have them green or red and so on. So that's something that we will do on the other webinars, probably.
All right, great. And also ranks. So this we can see also to cover in the upcoming ones then. All right. One more question there. If not, yes.
I just
Yes,
would
please.
like to, yeah, I like to mention that if you have some issues with these functions, you don't know how to use them, or you need some advice, you can just contact me. I mean, probably on LinkedIn. There is no official email address for me, probably, so you can just write me and I can try to help you.
Right, that's a nice offer. So colleagues make use of that. That's very kind. Well, we were mentioning this several times already, so there are more sessions coming up, so stay tuned. You will receive invitations from us, and you can also follow our UNV Learning Hub WhatsApp channel. I'm just posting this here. You will also get everything via mail after the course. So beyond these live sessions, you also find opportunities to further strengthen your Excel or data skills in general. So if you're eligible, you can also use OnAccess LinkedIn Learning, which is available also via eCampus, posting that link here as well. And feel free to explore eCampus in general because yeah, there are many more other courses which can be quite interesting for you. Then we have still a learner needs assessment going on. So I'm also posting this huge link in there. So still 3 more days you can yeah, participate in this LinkedIn learning, in this learner needs assessment. Thank you. And tell us what needs you have and where you would like to explore more. And yes, now actually I can only say a big thank you to you, Jakub, for this excellent session. I could read in the chat there are many, many people very thankful for this help. And yes, thank you for sharing your expertise, your practical insights, all these emojis coming up. That's very kind. We will share recording and presentation and Excel files after the session again. And thank you again and hope to see you in the upcoming sessions.
Thank you. Bye.